Good evening and welcome to the Nighttime Heat, rated on Prom FM 105.5. This program is being relayed by Radio Gegema, that is in Nima County, Kwatika in Bon County, and of course, Radio Wologisi and Lofa County. We are streaming live tonight, as usual, on Prom FM Morovia 105.5. Again, Prom FM Morovia 105.5. We are also streaming live on our Facebook page. That is the Nighttime Heat Facebook page. Just tap Nighttime Heat, three words, and of course, you're going to watch the show online. And not only to watch the show, we want to urge you that you kindly share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, your partners can also follow the show tonight. We are also streaming live on our YouTube channel. Again, just tap Nighttime Heat on your YouTube channel and you subscribe. After which, you hit the notification bell. And the reason why we always encourage you to hit the notification bell so that anytime the show comes on, you are live, you receive notification, and of course, you're going to follow the show. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat. Sabo George is my name. I know my two panelists, Moses Sandy and George Kennedy, will shortly be in. Tonight we have, the serious, some top discussions tonight for you. But let me welcome Moses Sandy. Moses over here. Moses, welcome to the program.
Thank you, thank you, Mr. Saba. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be back. I know, like you said, tonight is going to be a very interesting discussion, and I look forward to that. Thank you for the
Yes,
opportunity.
it's good that you clear your throats because we're going to talk a lot tonight. Okay, we
Definitely
should.
tonight is going to be making talk. All right.
Yeah, make it talk. Oh. So, we still await our good friend George Kennedy. George was not here last week of Friday. He was absent. I'm sure he was swamped with some major engagement at his job site. But I know George will be here, and Edwin Farmule also will be joining us. Representative Most that's so small more, but will be joining us as well. I know Reverend Chris Stoll of the Council of Churches. He said, "Well, you're going to join us because tonight's discussion is very important." And of course, let's just give you a gist of what we'll be discussing tonight. The lineup, in another word, what does the GSC audit say about the financial record of NASCOP? If you follow the local dailies today, you will notice that NASCOP was all in the news about its report, the GSC report on NASCOP or about NASCOP. Some said, well, the unqualified report means that something wrong, took place at NASCOP. And so, well, the unqualified doesn't mean that, but we're going to give our own analysis as to what the unqualified report or report means for NASCOP. We're going to talk about that. And also tonight, we want to ask the question: is there another crack in the CDC, especially with the establishment of the Liberia's Alternative People Party of the then Minister of State to former President Wia Blamo Wise, Blamo Wise Blamo, in other words. He launched a political party that's the Liberia's Alternative People's Party, and this the first, this is the second, in fact, political party we've heard about from people within the CDC. Yeah? So does it mean a crack for the CDC? Is it taken away from the CDC because we heard about the first person, Sir Joseph? I understand launched soon. He has his own political party. Now we are hearing about Wisa Blambo. So is that a crack within the CDC? We'll be talking about that as well. And of course, tonight, Henry Pedro Costa was on Spoon last night, and he said a lot, including calling for the dismissal of some government officials, including the Minister of Justice. He had his own reasons. We're going to talk about that. What are those calls are justified? What a costa should be the messenger, the appropriate messenger for that. We're going to look at that as well tonight. And of course, I'm sure you may be following. There's still conflicting accounts surrounding the presidential villa on a construction in Foya. They are in fact, Costa even spoke about that yesterday. There are some, there were those account from a government circle that it was a government project. One government minister said that. Another minister said, well, it's from the MRU, but we understand that the MRU has distanced itself. So we're going to talk about that. What are the conflicting accounts? And what does it mean for the PR, the public relations mechanism of this government? We're going to talk about that. So our guests will be joining us as well. I know the man Small will join us. Reverend Chris Toll will join us as well. Edwin Famble, I'm sure he's on his way. He will join us. Let me welcome my good friend and brother was not here on Friday. Let me welcome him. He's in his maroon suit tonight. Welcome, George.
Good evening. Thank you, Saba. I'm happy to be back. I've been so busy these few days, but the basic schedules continue tomorrow.
I know.
But things will be okay. We'll be back. And I can assure you that we'll be fully involved going forward. We've been following the show, and we want to thank our many listeners, our technicians, and everyone, including your very self, who have been standing tall to making sure that this show continues. Thank you so much.
Okay, we also want to thank you too for your commitment and your dedication. Very, very excellent. I know what it means. After a long day of work, you still find yourself on the program to help educate and inform our people. So let's give you the kudos. You really deserve it. You and Sandy. But let me ask first, Moses, what is it on your mind? Because I want to begin with mine quickly. But Moses, let me ask you, what is it on your mind? What's trending? I know you heard about other topics we'll talk about, but what's on your mind? What's trending out of topics?
Yeah, you have everything you have on there. You have lineup and the critical issues that are on my mind. Besides that, the only thing that I would like to quickly wrap my head around is the falsehood that was told by the Deputy Minister Designate at the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Fatima Bintu Salif, that she managed in urban affairs. That's absolutely falsehood. The university doesn't offer anything called urban affairs. You check the website, that degree doesn't exist. Even at the undergraduate level, the degree doesn't exist. You go to graduate school, you go to specialize, you don't go to minor. And this is one thing that really bothers me when people are going to public service and they begin to lie on little stuff. That creates integrity problem for me. It really stands out. And what really bothers me when I hear people in Liberia say, oh, you confirm the girl, you confirm this woman, you confirm the woman. She has a skill. This is nothing personal. But if you can lie on your academic credential, you can lie about your academic credential, and we put in government, do you know what our person will do in the future? It really stands out. Thank you.
Okay, Moses had to talk about this issue with Fatima. Basically, I really don't want to go into it. Fatima, in fact, was one of the co-hosts of this program. She used to be here, and we used to have very good time and good discussions along with Moses. But I don't know what really transpired that Fatima is all in the media and the local and social media as well, trending in the media and people playing or taping or recording and all of that. This morning I listened to I think Voice of Liberia, Sekou. He was very hard on Fatima this morning. But let me hear from you also, George. What's the trend apart from what I just talked about?
Yeah, I'm looking at the people from the Hotel Africa community.
Okay,
they have they got the group that a little bit far. I just forgot about the community's name there, but in that same area, I think they may be among the affected communities.
Pre-far community.
Yeah, I think pre-far community. I think we've been talking with some of them. We've been talking with one of their leaders in Reverend Mervyn Kennedy, and he's told me we got the same last name, but no relationship. But I spoke with him, and they really want to talk with the president. They are not against government's program, and I think somehow miscommunication has been taken to the president. They feel that there's a need for them to talk to the president as people. They live over there for many years, and I think some of them since 1965, and so they've settled that they don't have much problem with the Hotel Africa vicinity itself. Area. So I think the government needs to look in there. The public works minister, other people need to go in there to see about that situation. Yes, it's good. People embrace the development. Government wants to carry on, but certain areas there we just have to be a bit compassionate and open the community.
Okay, last week we had them on the program. Again, share the show. This the Nighttime Heat. We are streaming live on Prime FM 105.5. We are also streaming live on our Facebook page, Nighttime Heat Facebook page. We are also streaming live on our Nighttime Heat that's YouTube channel. We are streaming live as well. And like I said, we had those people yesterday. We had them. That's not yesterday,
that was
but
Friday,
on Friday
right?
we had them on the program, and they were making some passionate plea to the government, and I think in fact we had them along with Reverend Christo, because the Council of Churches has been involved with the intervention.
That's good.
I think the discussion is going well. I'm sure they may likely get the sort of cooperation from the government.
Oh, thank God.
But let me just say about what's on my mind, and then we can all talk about that. Gentlemen, it's good we are trained and professional media people, not to allow individuals calling themselves talk show hosts or political commentator to exploit the airwaves that belongs to us and misinform our people. Whenever it happens, we should always come forth to either counter them, dismiss what they say, or give them education. Because I know many of them, they speak on issues that they have absolutely no knowledge about. They are bereft. They lack knowledge about those issues. Before when I left, the state broadcaster, I joined the Star Radio, the Independent Star Radio, and I was a reporter at the judiciary. I covered the judiciary.
Yeah.
I covered the justice system. In fact, I had assignment during the last days of Star Radio. I had assignment at the Ministry of Justice. Okay. So I do understand how the justice system works. But unfortunately, people who we do expect, people who consider themselves to be highly educated, well-versed, they sometimes don't understand. So it is our responsibility to come out to educate those people. I heard, and I know we'll talk about that, in our subsequent discussion, we'll talk about that. But let me just pick this one quickly. I heard Henry Costa, Pedro, he called himself.
Pedro.
calling for the dismissal of the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General, that they are ineffective. They are now bringing to book former government officials for corruption. And I just sought to provide a little bit of education for Costa and his legs, because I know sometimes people will talk a lot and they don't rationalize. They just pick up an issue and they run with it. So I just sought to provide a little education with my understanding that I have from covering the justice system, the judiciary as well. In our country, Moses and Kennedy, we do have a modern justice system. There are two types: the modern justice system and the traditional justice system.
Yeah.
The traditional justice system is when Sandy takes Sobo to the chiefs or to the elders and say, "Oh, Sobo followed my wife," and immediately the chief will summon me and invite me for the discussion, and they will handle the issue. They will investigate us and ask all the questions, and eventually, before the end of the day, they will come up to tell you, "George, are you wrong?" or "Moses, you wrong."
Yeah.
That's the traditional justice system.
Yeah.
It is abrupt. It's automatic, in another word. But the modern justice system that we find ourselves in, it's not as the traditional justice system. Again, let me draw the analogy, because I'm saying this so that others who maybe wanted to give credence to what Costa said, so that they can disabuse their mind. If you, Sandy, or George Kennedy, took me into court, the first thing the court would invite me through the court officer.
Mhm.
You bring a rate, and I go to court along with my lawyer. The lawyer will look at the case, and firstly, there could be a conference,
Yeah.
and after which, my lawyer want to look at the evidence that been brought against me, and you will ask for time. You will make an application to the court. Courts are moved to request for 4 or 5 days or a week or two to review the evidence.
Yeah.
So I have to get myself prepared to come and defend my client, and that takes time. After the lawyer has asked, the defense lawyer has asked for maybe time. If that time is granted, if the court grants that application, then it happens. But if the court does not, my lawyer, the defense lawyer, has the
right to go to the Supreme Court.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Has the right to go to the Supreme Court to meet a chamber of justice.
Yeah.
And to go through that matter that he has taken to the Supreme Court, it will take additional time. So our modern justice system, it moves like snail.
It's complicated.
It's complicated. It's the same as cases today that are pending on the docket. Like, for instance, he made reference to the case involving the Samuel Tuwaya.
Yeah.
It will take time. It's not that when you see it happen that way, it's not that the prosecution is not working. No, they are working. They have to follow what the court says.
What the law says.
What the law says. And in addition to that, it's not that the prosecution too or the defense is not working, but they are following the law. And it's not that the court too wants to delay the process. No, the court too is following the law. So for someone to come up like Henry Costa, to say the minister of I'm not speaking in the interest of the minister of justice. No, I know him well. I mean, we are not friends, but I'm trying to provide education to Costa and others who will think like Costa is thinking that justice is abrupt. No, it moves like snail. What is the crime that has been committed for his call that the Minister of Justice should be dismissed because he's not prosecuting former officials. No, it would take time to prosecute whoever because of the modern justice system we have. So for someone to come up to say, or like Costa, right? Let me be very blunt. For Costa to come up to say, "Oh, let the Minister of Justice be dismissed by the president because he's not," that's totally unacceptable. You can't dismiss him. What is the crime? What is the irregularity that he has committed for which he should be dismissed? He's not backing from Finance Minister Samuel Tuah, no, but he has to follow the law. Step by step. You can go and grab the former finance minister or whoever and just throw them behind bars like he wants them to do. So Costa needs to understand the workings of the justice system. He needs to understand the working of the court process. It doesn't work the way he wants it. And Akame, and I think what he's trying to do is intended basically to re-salvage and his once booming relationship he had with maybe the president that he has already ruined. He's trying to re-salvage, but you can't do it at the expense of other people. So state the crime. Let him state the crime that the Minister of Justice or his chief prosecutor had committed, for which they should be dismissed. He's saying it, I'm sure, because he doesn't understand the court process. It's good that we have a student of law. Our modern system our modern justice system moves like snail. It's not as fast as the traditional justice system, where you can just go to court today and you get redress. It's adjudicated. It doesn't work like that. So for Costa to have come out and say, "Oh, the Minister of Justice," I think he was out of order. Maybe he spoke out of ignorance. He doesn't understand the court process, and that's my frustration. There where I think he needs to learn more about the court system before coming up to talk about someone being someone should be dismissed because and the second thing I want to talk about, he made a lot of comments, but looking at what he said, I think, especially judging from what is the call he made for the dismissal of the Minister of Justice, I think he's trying to revitalize his once booming, but he has ruined this relationship. It was the Costa who came up to say the old man is wearing there, the old man is sick, the old man is that. How can you salvage that sort of relationship? He has ruined it already, and don't do it at the expense of individuals who are working hard, like the Minister of Justice, the chief prosecutor, who's the Solicitor General. You can gain whatever relevance at their expense. At their expense, you've already ruined the relationship with the president. Don't do that, and I think we'll talk about that more. But I just thought to take this off my chest, because I think he has blundered. It was a misstep on his part, not understanding the justice system, the court process, how it works. I just thought to provide that education so that others can also benefit from the education.
Mr. George, it's a respectful for me. It's a respectful for Mr. Costa to go on the radio to ask the president to dismiss someone. Is it in order? The president, you say you can always see him. President Boakai, I know, doesn't like that. He made a mistake. He slipped. And he needs to know his uncle, quote and unquote, uncle very well.
We call him dependable uncle.
Dependable.
You call him a dependable uncle, but you are stabbing him to the back.
Because you are telling the public that the decision he made here, Mr. President, is not correct.
It's not correct. So,
Mr. President, they think you
are questioning the judgment of the president. The president appointed those people.
You can do so.
It's unfortunate
by just asking for time to see him, which he always available to you. You say, "Oh, Mr. President, this, that." I thought he was very disrespectful for me. I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, other people may not take it, but I don't think it is necessary for him. Just as we say here that Senator DeLong was not in the right place to just be attacking the labor minister. It's the same thing as, hey, Mr. Costa, you say you got good relationship with the president, you can go to his house anytime you want to go there. Okay, man. Why don't you even pen one letter to him, say, to raise your this and that.
Yeah.
But going on the radio, you castigating everybody, but he say he's supporting him. You don't know that he castigating him indirectly.
Yeah, you castigate.
So that was very wrong.
And you're trying to damage his government indirectly. So let's hear from the of law. We've been talking about the justice system. So we just we want to hear from you.
I listened to Costa podcast, and then also a one-on-one with Stanton Waterspoon last night.
Mm-hmm.
And like you rightly said, I just laughed because Costa is not knowledgeable of our legal system, how it works, what are the procedures and processes involved in the prosecution of quote-unquote people who are perceived to be involved in corruption, and then he came up with all of these things and trying to pinpoint and almost like giving the president a mandate. First of all, like Brother Josh Kennedy just said, you are in no position to give the president a mandate or to even call for the dismissal of any government officials in Liberia. That's not how the system works. If you claim, that you have salvaged your relationship that you destroyed before the elections, for whatever reasons, if you claim that you have salvaged that relationship, if you have these kind of issues, you have access to the president. Go to the president's house and say, look, Mr. President, there are things happening that I think you need to look deeper into it. But the president understands definitely what are the roles of his ministers who are in charge of these particular area. Take, for example, audit reports are not indictments. So, and when audits are done, the audit report does not go to the president. So I hear people saying, the president is not prosecuting. No. The act that created the GSC says that the audit report is submitted to the legislature through the Public Account Committee. Because of the due process that our law calls for in our Constitution, the Public Account Committee will have to invite the people who are indicted in that report to give explanation. And then after that, if there is a probable cause that they need to go further to investigate, it's submitted to LACC, the Anti-Corruption Commission. They will have to investigate. So there, they will call you who are accused to bring your evidence. If you say you did this and this, bring the evidence or so. If you cannot bring that evidence, then they proceed to trial. That's where now the Ministry of Justice, which is the prosecution arm of the government, will have to step in. And that has nothing to do with the justice minister. So you want this justice minister who is a lawyer for more than 50 years to just be going around just asking people to put handcuffs on former government officials to put them in jail. And then at the end of the day, when they go to the court and they walk out free, then you say, we are weak on corruption. We're not doing this. The court is, quote unquote, biased or corrupt. That's not how the system works. And you see, Flower, you struck a very good point here. You see, prosecuting criminal matters, the state has to be very careful.
Thank you.
Our law says you are innocent until proven guilty before a court of competent jurisdiction. Now, if you listen to the lady from LACC the other day when she did the press conference, she said they're doing everything possible to fast track the establishment of a corruption court. There is a reason for that. Our law says we should do trial by jury, right? So jury means layman. You can take anybody from anywhere. Now, if you have a high-profile corruption case that has to do with accounting and other stuff, you go take some layman from West Point, from Nukuta, who doesn't even understand it. They sit there, and all they listen to is the lawyer speaking big term and putting your hand in your pocket with your coat suit smelling good. At the end of the day, they all come out and say, look, all that thing you're saying here, we didn't see no evidence, but I'm not guilty. The man was scot-free because the state does not take appeal within our jurisdiction. The state has everything at its disposal. So when the state lose the case at the level of the lower court, they don't go to the higher court. Okay. So if you want to actually fight this thing they call corruption, you have to set a separate court with a different rules. Now, look, this court is going to be a hybrid court where we only have judges, and those judges who are sitting there should be people that have accounting background, should be people that have cyber security background, that they can go into your computer system and see some of these different transactions. Once that is done, then you can now start to push these cases and see whether we will not be able to curtail some of these things. Like you said, this Samuel Tuer case, how long has that case been in the court?
I think a little while.
Little while, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then what the lawyers will do, they will play all of these different technicalities.
And that doesn't mean that the prosecution is not working.
They're working.
That doesn't mean that the court is not working.
Of course.
That doesn't mean that the defense is not working.
But those are the procedures. So every step you take, the defense can find a way to, file another motion. They have to go up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has to pass
recently.
back.
Let me just come in. Just recently, we heard about the Asom case.
The Asom case, yeah.
When Kofi and others filed an application to suppress the evidence.
Yeah.
Of course. And they went to the Supreme Court.
So
yeah,
for Costa to have come up asking for the dismissal of the Minister of Justice and prosecuting team because they are not prosecuting. You think you persecute people like that? You don't persecute. The justice system is not that automatic.
No,
that you just go and grab somebody and put her in jail. No.
You don't,
because if you do it tomorrow, you forfeit the case. They can sue you.
The people may prove malice.
They can sue you.
They may prove malice against
Thank
you.
you.
In fact, one of the reasons why you see a lot of people walking
I'm Moses.
One of the reasons why you see a lot of people working scot-free with these things, because we have not yet established a claims court.
Okay.
Because if the state take me to court and it is believed that the state lied on me, I can sue the state for damages.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you receive those damages.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
The court will compel the state to pay. Is that what Costa wants? Tomorrow, Samuel Tuer is arrested. At the end of the day, he wins the case. Then his dependable uncle government is looking for money to pay Samuel Tuer. Is that what he wants? Costa has to be educated, man. Moses, let's hear from you quickly.
Look, I just want to briefly contribute to this discussion, and I would like to come from a leadership anchor of it. You listen to Mr. Costa. He made a number of allegations yesterday against people in government. He claimed people in government, a good number of them are underperforming. But at the same time, he turns around and says, President Walker.
Moses.
Yes.
Moses.
Yeah.
Your line is terrible. Your line is, you have to do some adjustment.
Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, we are hearing you, but it's cracking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think where I was driving up, but now you hear me, right?
Just go off and come back on. I'm sure you'll be clear.
Okay.
So
all right.
You are listening. Yes, go off and come back on. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat, directed on Prime FM 105.5 and other stations across Mama Liberia. We are also streaming live on Prime FM Morovia 105.5. We are also streaming live on our YouTube channel. That is the Nighttime Heat YouTube channel. We are also streaming live on our Facebook page. That is the Nighttime Heat Facebook page. We want to share this show tonight. It promises to be very, very interesting. We got a couple of discussions. We're looking at the calls by political talk show host, political commentator. He calls himself Henry Costa. He's been calling for the dismissal of the Minister of Justice and others. But we'll try, providing education. We are They just take the phone and do a podcast and say what they want to say, and a few people form them and they say, "Oh, I've achieved." It's not so. Before you can pick up an issue to talk about that issue, do your own due diligence. Ask other people: is this right for me to say or not? If I'm calling for the dismissal, in fact, he also called for the dismissal of the chief, the advisor, the legal advisor. How do you call for macability and all of that? You call for that dismissal. How do you call for the dismissal of those people in your you say you call your dependable uncle in his government, you call for that dismissal. Do you know what you are doing? You are questioning the judgment of
the
your
president.
dependable uncle.
Of course, that's true.
Your dependable uncle made those nominations because he got trust in those people, and those people are performing. If you claim that you can go to your dependable uncle or you can have lunch and breakfast and all of that, meet him one-on-one and discuss.
Yeah.
But to come public, it means that you are stabbing your dependable uncle. And apparently that's the reason why the Costa didn't get the job as Minister of State.
Yeah,
Because when you're not trusted like that, nobody going to trust you.
And in fact, you're
It's
trying to
unfortunate.
also send message that your dependable uncle is not in charge.
It's not in
A
charge.
lot of
Thank
things
you.
going on, and he's not taking
And
action.
you call him your dependable uncle.
The guy is, I mean,
But
I
in
don't
public,
understand.
you come and demean your dependable uncle. You know, is that dependable uncle?
Yeah, but
Yes,
yes.
yes.
One thing Costa needs to know that even at the Ministry of Justice, the minister is not involved in litigation. There's a whole
Litigation.
division
That's
for
responsible.
litigation.
Yeah.
That is yes.
Yeah,
In fact, there's a deputy minister for that.
for
You
litigation.
know, and then you have the Solicitor General, who is the chief
The chief
prosecutor.
prosecutor, yeah.
No. You know, so there are all of these things that works around. Yeah, government have cases on the books, and government is not only dealing with corruption cases because you know any criminal crime is against the state. So it is the state that prosecute.
Yeah.
So there are thousands of cases out there: murder, armed robbery,
They're all
of
on the
these-
docket.
They're all on the
Aggravated
docket.
assault.
Aggravated assault.
Yeah.
So you have the state prosecutors going to court every day, trying to adjudicate these different cases or so. So you don't just come out and say, oh, because there are audit report out there that people are corrupt and this is happening and so forth, you know. So therefore, they should dismiss the justice minister. Come on, man. That is just elementary. And I think Costa is trying to get his bearings, you know.
Moses is back. Okay, let's try to hear from Moses quickly. Moses, welcome back.
Yeah, quickly. What I was saying is that I just want to come from a leadership angle
Mhm.
on what Mr. Costa said yesterday. Mr. Costa came condemning a lot of people in the Baka administration for underperformance. But the same Henry Costa turns around and say, Mr. President, you are doing a great job. I see that as hypocrisy. If I have a group of people who report to me, Moses Sandy, in my department, that I manage, and you say those people are underperforming, but I'm a good manager, then you're lying to me. Because as a manager, I take full responsibility for people who report to me. If they are not doing what is needed, the institution is going down. You are indirectly telling me that I am not a good manager. And that's why you told the president. He embarrassed the president yesterday, publicly, telling our president that, look, Mr. President, you don't know what you're doing. Can you imagine the man saying they're talking about people sending letter to the capital? Belete, Mamaka Belete. People taking action, like what is going on in Lofa County. They said the president has no input. Come on, man. You're telling us the president doesn't know what he's doing?
What he's doing.
It's very unfortunate. So Henry Blunder, again, Henry Costa cannot be a face of leadership. He has integrity problem. The man lies about almost everything. So we want to listen to you, Henry. The intentions may be good. The intentions may be good, gentlemen. But they said the medium is the message. Mr.
The
Kennedy,
message.
you know that.
Yes.
Some judge
yes.
know that.
Yeah.
So if the media is terrible, then how good is the message going to be?
His message will never be good.
It means that message is faulty.
Yeah.
But I think Moses, let me just come in. I think he's trying to, like I said, his motive is to savage, that once booming relationship he had with the president. But he's doing it at the expense of other people who the president has appointed, who the president has, that sort of, great deal of respect for and trust in as well. You can savage because it was the same Costa who was around here saying how the president was sick and the president was worrying this and the president. So if you want to erase that from the minds of the president, You can use other people. You can, the Mamaka, the others saying they should be dismissed. On what grounds? On what grounds should they be dismissed? What is the crime that they committed for which you, and if you question that they are not competent, it means that you questioning the judgment of the president.
Of course.
That's why he's trying. They did. Yes, I don't know what he was rational in when he was saying all of that. What he said those things out of his rational mind. If you're saying that Bushi Ben Keita is not competent, the Minister of Justice is not competent, Mamaka Ability is not then you are saying that the president indirectly is not competent because of the president, nominated those people. Then you call the man your dependable uncle. How can you be calling me dependable uncle? You stabbing me to the back.
That's Henry. That's Henry right there.
It's unfortunate, man. Moses, you want to come in quickly so we can go to our next discussion?
No permanent friend, no enemy.
Look, you guys are already so much. Henry Costa is trying to make a comeback, trying to reinvent himself. But Henry Costa, I think the good thing you can do for yourself is to just remain quiet. Remain quiet.
Yeah. Because
you have integrity problem. Nobody believes you, Henry. That's it.
And Moses, since Henry did his appearance yesterday, you don't see individuals from the Unity Party commending him. You didn't see any posts around where people would have said, "Oh yeah, Costa he did us," because he didn't do well yesterday. If he was trying to market the government or market the press, he didn't do well yesterday. He did market the government yesterday.
The
he didn't do well.
The UP doesn't trust him. CDC doesn't. The ANC West.
In fact, credible information. Credible information. The old man apparently had agreed to have made him Minister of State. But the same people that went around, they said, "Mr. President, don't do this because you know this guy." And he just proved it last night. He just proved it again last night.
In fact, that information is not credible.
Okay. No, he said
that was a rumor.
That was a rumor.
Yeah.
I mean, to bring him closer to, and he said he would have taken the job. Can you imagine? He was brave to say he would have taken the job after you said all those nasty things against the president. After you said the president is there, the president is that, then you have gone close to the president to serve as a chief of office staff. No, man, and he's still proving that every time. Yes, go ahead.
And Slobber, what he doesn't understand, like if you listen to Son Steve Kuya's confirmation hearing, he's when they asked him what is the role of the Minister of State.
Yeah,
he said the Minister of State is someone who, when he stands behind the president is confident that he's not going to slip. Nobody's going to trust somebody like Costa. Even President Weah cannot trust Costa to be a Minister of State, because this is someone who, once he fall out with you, every secret that you guys have behind closed doors, he's going to put it out there.
You know who he trusts? You know who's going to trust him? Ben Ure. But when he become president,
the issue is that, there are a lot of things that takes place behind the presidency.
Yeah.
And you are the gatekeeper of the president. There are a lot of communication you see. There are a lot of things you'll be involved
in. In addition to that, somebody was telling me, President said, look, Henry can be even anybody close to the president.
No.
Listen, to be the Minister of State, you must be somebody who the president trusts.
Highly trust.
Tomorrow, the man will say, okay, man, go to some ministry and pick up $300,000.
Yeah.
You go for the money, you bring it. Or you work for the money, thinking that the president will give you small thing. Yeah. The man doesn't give you. No, the president no, the money is for something else. I'm not going to give you anything from that. Wait, you get that.
Or even aside from that, somebody could come to see the president.
Thank you.
They give a gift to you. Say, give it to the president. Maybe $2 million, $3 million. You see it now, you anxious. You want to get yours.
Yeah.
If the president doesn't give it to you,
you go public.
You can't go to information.
Yeah.
You can't go to Ministry of State. There are certain key institutions. Let Henry know he can't go there. Yeah, he could go to some other institutions.
But why is
because
this guy?
Of the character.
Let me ask, gentlemen. Let me ask. Moses, let me begin with it. Why is this guy like this? That he just flip flops just in a second. Why is he like this, Moses? Let me hear from you.
Well, what I would say, he's a man who seeks attention. He's self-centered. Everything will be about him. If it is not about Henry Costa, it is not good. So that's what drives him. He has this ego that he's the most powerful. He's the most educated. Everybody should follow him. And if he doesn't get his way, he throws tantrums. And that's what happened with him. Now he has lost the trust of everybody. Prior to this podcast, I was online and I ran into one of his videos during the election. I mean, the way this guy talked about the former president, it was a talk show that he appeared on with other journalists from the United States here. I mean, the guy belittled Mr. Boakai. I just couldn't believe. Then I was wondering to myself, I said, I was almost tempted to share that video and ask the question, is this the Henry Costa today? I mean, he said all the worst thing about this man. And now you tell me, let's be human. Is this a man that you want to come in his inner cycle? It is not possible. It is not. He may smile with you, he may do everything for you, but when it comes to trust, he will not allow that to happen. So Henry is all about himself.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you, Edwin, let me hear your version.
What I think, to me, that's the youthful exuberance that Costa has. Costa believes that he's just intellectual, he's educated, and he has built his own base in Liberia from the talk show that he was doing. So Costa has an entitlement spirit. If you were around here during the election time, Costa believed that he should have been the vice president to Joseph Boakai. That talk came out around here.
He said he brought 30 million.
Of course. And I was like, there's something possibly wrong with this guy. You think that's how people get to, the top of this game?
Yeah.
You have to take your own time. If Costa had been patient and gone through the ranks and file, Costa today would have been very significant in this Boakai administration, or Costa would have even be the senator of Montserrat County. The amount of vote that this guy, San Joseph, the guy who ran,
Senator Dillon.
No, the current Minister of Mines and Energy, Wilmot Pay.
Oh, Wilmot Pay, yeah.
The amount of vote that Pay got, all because he was on the Unity Party ticket.
Yeah.
If Costa would have been the one on that ticket, Costa would have today been senator of Montserrat County. But he didn't make use of it. He thought that, because Costa, he can talk, so he wanted to be vice president. So it is the youthful exuberance. And he still has not yet realized that the Liberian people have a different way of doing things.
Yeah.
These are the same people that can lift you up high, and then we'll look at it and say, well, but the guy is serious, man. Just let him go. And that's what's happening to him now. So what he's trying to do now, he's trying to gain relevance.
Yeah.
So he start doing all of these podcasts. He will come out and blast, and then he will talk to Stanton bring him on, and then he go ahead, talk and criticize people and this and that. So tomorrow, if any of these ministers slips and the president take action, he say, yeah, I said it. The president dismissed, this person, but I don't think that's going to work.
But he doesn't know that he's even harm his own dependable uncle.
Of course, that's what
Okay.
he's doing.
Why is he flips it out? George.
Costa has strong intellectual capability in terms of the microphone. He's gifted, but he's not a journalist. Had he gone to journalism school, we have been thinking about maybe one of the Kwame Clement, this. But he's a guy who is self-centered in terms of when it comes to his personal aggrandizement.
His ambition.
His ambition, yeah. So then that's why I have destroyed him. That's one of the main things that destroy him. So he shifts the goalpost whenever he sees that here he's not getting this, he will shift the goalpost and go to the other side. And he's not just shifting quietly. He's shifting, leaving biased cards behind. Because if he's here, he's going to insult and say all the negative things about you, Mr. Silva or Mr. George. And after a certain time, he take 1 or 2 weeks and talk good about Mr. George and cross over to Mr. George and turn his intellectual missile on bazookas and all that stuff. So he's very, very inconsistent. As a result, he's not trusted. He still has a little strong following. in terms of people who listen to him. There's a difference between people listening to you or agreeing or following, accepting what you say or following you. He still has that kind of following, that kind of listening audience, but to follow him in terms of where he goes, no, he cannot change the people's mind because he cannot be trusted. He has all the negative things to say about everybody that he opposes. Mr. Cummings, even Yombly went after everybody, and the current president, former president. We are
which a war yesterday.
Former President Salif.
Yeah.
Former President Salif.
Against DeLong.
All the people, Senator DeLong, everybody else that he disagrees with, they are the worst people in society.
I think
so. I think that's big negative for him.
In fact, one mistake he made that he actually, like you said, he brought in the president's into some level of public dispute. By saying that it was Senator DeLong and Pro Tem Yombly that brought the Justice Minister on board.
Yeah.
Even
if
those things are true, that's the things that you put out there, because the Justice Minister is one of the key cabinet officials.
Yeah.
That's why you see most often when the president is leaving the country, he leaves the Justice Minister in charge. In fact, under our law, it is only the Justice Minister who can
differ with
the president.
Yeah.
So that's a very powerful position for you to come back and say that, in fact, this man is not even from the Unity Party. It was the opposition party that recommended this man. You know, you're trying to put your dependable uncle.
You call it dependable,
You know,
but at the same time, you
try to bring into public this.
Questioning all the decisions that you had made.
The president knew the man from nowhere, and they said,
you don't say that.
Those things. You don't do this.
Then tomorrow you go to have lunch with the president.
Yeah.
And you and him. In fact, he said it yesterday. I think something he said. In fact, I want to go have lunch, but I'm not going to say, oh yeah. How do you do that? They wanted to be the minister of state.
He said he wanted some information, and the president gave it to him, but he's not going to.
Can you do that? I say it's dependable uncle. Some of you who can see a dependable uncle like you, George Kennedy, you got to tell you got to hold the ears of the dependable uncle. Please, you got to be careful.
That man was trying to seek public attention.
That's
the President Bouaga. I know he listens most often than he speaks.
Okay.
He's very slow in uttering words, and he's very careful who to say what to. So Mr. Costa can go ahead.
Okay, so gentlemen, let's try to. Moses, any parting word on this topic so that we can go to our next discussion?
All right. Just to summarize what we're saying, right? It's like you, any of you guys, you kind of visited me, and then you go, you say, "Oh man, the men children are untamed, out of control. They don't clean up, they don't do this." But that man is a very decent man. He's a good dad. Yeah. What are you telling the public? Are you not telling the public that I'm not a good parent?
Yeah, what you saying?
That's the message you're conveying. Because if I have my kids that are uncontrolled, are off the hinge, are more problematic, as he was saying about the president officials, he's simply telling the people that, look, this man is not in control of anything in this country. He's just sitting there. He's just a stooge. And that was an embarrassment for the president. He thought he was doing good, but he just ruined his relationship with the president again.
Okay, so gentlemen,
yes.
Okay, so let's move forward. We've already done this. Let's try to see what happens. We are hearing that the president, in fact, received that press statement that the president has made some changes in government. Let's see what we can get that. I'm trying to upload it. Okay, let's see what we can get that quickly. I'll have it here. Let's read that.
So that Costa changes.
No. I see the president's changes were in the making already before Costa stuff yesterday. President Bouaga makes new changes in government. October 27, 2025. President Joseph Yema Bouaga has made a series of new nominations and changes across key government institutions, subject to Senate confirmation when applicable. The appointments reflect the president's continued efforts to strengthening governance, improving institutional performance, and ensuring accountability and efficiency within the public sector in line with the arrest agenda. The institutions and those nominated and appointed are Ministry of Mines and Energy, Mr. Aro Martinike Tenba, minister. So it means that the previous minister,
Wilmer Pay.
Yeah,
Wilmer Pay
we
has
must
been
pay
removed.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, pay God. Yeah.
Mr. Small Samuel Momolu, Assistant Minister for Mines, Mr. Samuel Somerville, Assistant Minister for Mining Exploration. And then he goes to the Ministry of Education. Mr. Thomas Momo Piker, Deputy Minister for Planning, Research and Development. Mr. Oscar Guto Flomo, Assistant Minister for Planning, Research and Development. National Commission on Higher Education, Dr. Cecilia Cassell, Executive Director. Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Miss Agnes C. Marshall, Assistant Minister for Children and Social Protection. Miss Josephine Greaves, Assistant Minister for Research, Policy and Planning. Liberia Airport Authority, the LAA. The President has accepted the resignation of the Chairman of the Board, Honorable Masakwe Kamara, and has directed the retirement of the Managing Director, Honorable Jeremiah Mensko, Mensko, on medical grounds. Okay, the President directed the retirement of the Managing Director, Honorable Jeremiah Mensko, on medical grounds. Okay, the following new appointments have been made at the LAA. Mr. Ernest R. Hodges, Managing Director, Mr. Yan Martin, Chairman of the Board, Civil Service Agency, Board of Appeal, Mr. A. Blamosier, Co-Chair, Liberia Immigration Service, Mr. Nesco A. Wallu, Deputy Commissioner General for Administration. The Judiciary, Councillor William G. Kippert, Georgia Traffic Court, Banga City, Councillor Eric Molu, George Delcourt, Lofa County, Councillor Daniel D. Dolokin, George Delcourt, Bon County, Anthony Colley, George Criminal Court E, Lofa County, Councillor Rainy O. Moses, I hope I got it right, George Criminal Court E, Grand Junior County. President Boga extends appreciation to outgoing officials for their dedicated service and calls on the new appointees to serve with integrity, diligence, and renewed sense of duty to the Liberian people. Gentlemen, is this a start of a reshuffle? Moses, let's hear from you first.
Look, my man, I beg you, man, sir.
Is it a start of a new of a reshuffle?
What, my man? That is difficult to say. I don't want to be definitive, but it's the constitutional authority of the president. He can appoint and dismiss as well. I sympathize with Wilmer Pay. You know, they let him go. Maybe they may find something else for him. I think he's the only senior president that they let go. Yeah.
Because the reason why I asked the question, and I'm coming to Edwin as well, we didn't hear any reports of misdeeds or whatever about Wilmer Pay, but we just heard his name being he's part of those who are on our way. So do you think this is a start of any reshuffle by the president?
So like Brother Moses said, the Constitution gave the president that particular authority. All those who work within the executive at the appointment level work at his will. So he can decide who to let go and who to keep. What I can say, this could be maybe a start to be able to send a signal to all of his cabinet officials that, look, you guys signed a performance bond because we remember a few months back, everybody signed a performance bond that they were going to do XYZ. So it means that you are not, that untouchable cabinet official. So if the president believes that maybe you not actually at the pace at which that he wants you to be, he has the right to get you out. And I think with the issue of the Ministry of Mines, there have been a lot of, things that have been thrown at the Ministry of Mines, quote unquote. All of these are different concessions that we've been talking about, because that was one of the president promised, that Liberians are going to get the actual fair share of their natural resources. It's been almost 2 years. We're still beating on this president. What have we not, sit down to say, look, let's look at these different concessions.
So are you insinuating that maybe Wilmot Pay is on his way because of some poor performance? Or
no, well, only the president can say, based on what reasons. I'm just trying to insinuate that there are a lot of things that have been happening. There are a lot of things that are happening mainly around the natural resource sector or so, that maybe the president feels that this guy hasn't been able to exert himself the pace at which I want it to be. And all of the latches now coming back to me that, I promised that we're going to do this, and we're almost gone 2 years. So maybe some of these, because that's not only Wilmot Pay, even the deputy for mines, I think the assistant for mines, they're all gone.
They're all gone, yeah.
The new people in there, So there's more focus to actually sit down and look at these particular areas very keenly.
Okay, let me hold you there. I'm sure George Kennedy will have the answer that I want.
From inside, right?
Inside. George, is it a start of a reshuffle?
This is very surprising, but it's not strange.
Okay.
The President Bouaka, I know. You see, a lot of people used to say, Mr. President, a few months ago, reshuffle, this, that. There's a time for you to remove some of your ministers. They are not performing, this, that. And he didn't talk. He didn't act at the time. He's acting at the time where the public is not expecting anything to happen.
Okay.
That's how he does his thing. He does it according to his will, his thinking. Because he doesn't want people to push him to say, because the people thought that's why he took the action. We listened to the investment climate report from the State Department.
Okay.
Talk about how some of these ministries and agencies, some of the processes are very corrupt and other things. I'm not saying that Minister Pay is corrupt, this and that. Maybe some of these things that could be based on some of those reports.
Okay.
I know the president, I understand probably he may have eyes behind the scene, and if he lay hands on some of the fights, he will be acting no matter who is in a way, and that's how he does his business. But actually, this is very strange to me. I was not expecting the former Secretary General, the former Chairman of Unity Party, in now former Minister Wilmot Pay, to have been the target of dismissal at this time. So I didn't hear anything about it. Surprise in studio, hearing it, it was strange. Yeah.
So do you think that there could be more actions of reshuffle?
Definitely. But if the public reacts so heavy to this, he's going to slow down until when people forgetting. But then he will come back.
Yeah. But
again,
yes, Edwin.
This just tells us that this is a president who actually understands the workings of government. You remember when there was a public outcry for reshuffle, you need to do this and that. He takes his own time. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody even heard it in the vein to say, yeah, we heard the president having issues. So it just came up. I was just looking on my phone when I saw it.
Someone sent it to me, but
so it tells you that this old man is watching, he's paying keen attention, and he's following everybody at a different interval that you may not know. You just think that you're actually doing everything, and he doesn't know.
Okay, so this has happened. Moses, let me ask you. Let me begin with you. We'll be going to our next discussion about the GSC audit of the NASCOP. But this has happened at a time many people didn't expect it to happen. Moses, let me begin with you. Now, does it now ring a bell or change the mindset of individuals who thought that the president didn't have control of his government. He was not, in touch. He was not in touch. He didn't have any grip at all on what's happening. He's not listening to what's happening. You think this reshuffle now will change the mindset of people? Let me hear from you, Moses.
Yeah, definitely it sends a different message because, like Henry Costa said yesterday, he made people to believe that the president was not in charge. Today, the president has disproven that look, you said this, but I'm going to prove to you that I am in charge. And what the president has done is an eye opener. It's like, say the three of us work in the same department. And they come and terminate somebody from that department. We all performing the same task. The two of us that will live in our department will begin to say, oh, if they let someone go and we're all doing the same thing, we need to step up. Because if we don't step up, people are watching us. This is the message that the president has sent to all his officials. Some of them labor, we are UP people, this is our government. The mayor has indirectly told them, I am watching. When I read it, I was surprised. That's my reading into that.
Okay, Edwin, let's hear your reading into that as well. You think this because it looks like a reshuffle. You think it's going to now change the mindset of individuals who thought that the president didn't have any grip on his government, rather he was being just influenced by people around him?
Definitely is going to run down the spine of all of his government officials.
Okay.
Let me tell you, the very first action that the president took, that many people wouldn't have, even think about it, was to let the head of Enfield, who is a renowned scientist, well-acclaimed figure outside of Liberia, to let him go.
Okay.
It takes a leader who has a vision to understand this. So if you see him now coming to take decisions on people that are quote unquote believed to be the inner cycle, Wilmot P is just an ordinary person.
Former chairman,
former secretary general. He was involved in the campaign. In fact, I just spoke about him a few minutes ago before even this thing pop up.
Yeah.
To let him go, somebody that had that proximity to the president, to let him go, it sent a signal to all of these who be just calm, who thinks that, they are superior to themselves, they can do whatever they want to do, and the president now watching, this and that or so. That woman is very decisive. He's slow to act, but he takes his own time. And there's a reason for that. As one of my instructor at the law school used to work with him, but it's in Smoke. And he said something to me one time. He said, people don't know that woman. The time everybody would be expecting for him to act, he won't act that time.
Not do it.
He wait until his own time. And when he takes his decision, he don't reprise it.
Okay.
He doesn't.
I don't care how you beg him. It's finished.
So if he says that, Slobo, don't come in the room again, he finished with you. So that's the kind of leader he is. And you see, it speaks a volume as to the way we move forward. Because like you already said, look, take it from me, everybody on their heels now. To see a steward of this party, somebody who could walk into the old man's bedroom and so, to let him, to be the first one online, to say, look, you know what, go and sit down and rest. Everybody else will have to get in line.
Wow. Okay, let me ask you, Mr. Kennedy, you think this latest, because it appears to be a reshuffle, and this is the first of its kind since this government going to 2 years now, you think it's going to change the mindset of people now? People who thought that the president didn't have grip on his government, he was not listening, he was not following, people were just giving information and then influencing his decision. You think the people's mind going to change now?
Definitely. And all I can say to everyone holding key positions in government, presidential positions, appointed positions, perform. That's all I can say. Perform and hold your institution, the workers there good. Make sure that you're doing your job, keeping your subjects on.
Perform, because there's more reshuffles.
More reshuffle to come.
Okay, yes, I wanted to end that statement.
Yeah, more reshuffle.
Because if you say
nobody going to stay in one position for 6 years.
Okay.
And like the
no one position guaranteed for anybody for 6 years.
You sure of that?
Yes, of course.
Very sure of that.
Slobo, the old man once said this thing somewhere. He said, look, They have over 5 million people in Liberia. What makes you think you're the only qualified person to hold this post? So if you are there, it is the opportunity given to you to do your best. Because if you don't do your best, there's 100 more persons standing outside that can probably do better than you do. So why should we keep you in the job?
Okay.
You know, he's trying to challenge them. Yeah, but
To do more.
To
Of
do
what
more.
they're doing.
And that is the reason for public service. When you come to public service, is to give your best, so that you be able to build a system that when you leave, it doesn't collapse.
Okay.
But in Liberia, we see public service as a laissez-faire thing. You come there, you're the big shot. You come to office when you want to come. You travel if you want to travel.
And
We don't want to
elderly-
do a country like that.
An elderly person. He's retired now. Probably because I saw him very old. He explained a story to me about now President Boakai when he was LPMC managing director. He said LPMC needed to recruit some people for rural areas, for farm, agriculture, crops are plenty and other things. But they wanted people who graduated from high school or someone in college. So because they didn't want to cheat, they opened the recruitment up. They did it like Lotto. They will write on the paper, job, no job. Job, no job. Different when they cut it into pieces, they put it in a basket. Because he didn't want somebody to say, I know this person, I'm recruiting this person. And he needed around 200 people. When they put that advertisement up, more than 500 people apply. So they get brought in, job, no job, job, no job. Saying everybody almost had the same qualification. The basket sitting. The MD sitting. Everybody sitting. You go in that basket, you pick job, you are employed. If you pick no job, they will tell you, say, go come next time. So your fate lies in your hands, not not somebody deciding it.
Yeah, that was the creativity
That-
of now President Boakai.
Yeah.
Okay.
At FPMC.
Okay, so gentlemen, let's try
So
to,
is-
let's try to cross that. You listening to the Nighttime Heat? I'm sure we'll open the lines for you to interact with us as well. This program is right here on Prime FM, Monrovia 105.5. We are also streaming live on our YouTube page, Nighttime Heat, the YouTube page, and our YouTube channel, and our Facebook page. We are also streaming live, and we are also streaming live on Prime FM Monrovia 105.5. We want to share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also follow on what's happening tonight. Now, gentlemen, you've been hearing, hearing and also reading reading on social media about this whole GSC audit involving NASCOP. The audit has been out. In fact, if you read some local data today, locals did report it in their own way. Some said that the unqualified status, it means that there was something wrong at the end at NASCOP. Some said, well, no, it means that the audit was clean for NASCOP when they said unqualified. But let me read some few lines here of few information quickly, and then we'll go into what does the audit, the GSC audit said about NASCOP. During the heat of the second round election, specifically on November 8, 2023, NASCOP gave $300,000 to one group named Southing Solutions under a scam that the group was building 4 schools in Grand Coulee County. Grand Coulee County officials say they have not seen any school in Grand Coulee built by NASCOP through Southeastern Solutions. Business documents for Southern Solutions has Robert Tue, 1983, Harris K. Cooper, 1978, and Morris Peter Dine, 1990, as owners. But that is just the small one. On August 23, 2023, NASCOP transferred $1 million USD to Lace account at GT Bank. They said the money was a 50% contribution to WIA's project, housing project. 7 days later, NASCOP transferred an additional $1 million as the balance 50% contribution to the WIA's project. Lace has not seen any project documents related to money. Also, the coordination of the Japanese grant once announced that Japan financed 100,000 WIA's housing project. It will be good for NASCOP to show which housing project they gave the 2 million for. On November 3, 2023, NASCOP transferred 300,000 USD to Lay's account at EcoBank via check number. The number is there. Special project. No other details about the special project. For me, this point. Okay, now, gentlemen, these are some of the highlights. Let me try to read another one. I'm trying to reach to that. Okay, I'm trying to pick that up. NASCO boss, okay, is in serious. Okay, GS recent audit released shows that 3.9 million was misused under his watch. Okay, now, gentlemen, this has been trending in the media for some time now. Although the audit indicated unqualified, yet there are individuals who are running that unqualified means something different. It means that there were some irregularities, and so that's the picture that being painted about NASCOP to the public. Let me hear from you, Moses, first. What's your reading? Mr. Sunday?
Sorry.
Call
I'm
it on
sorry.
mute. Okay.
Yeah. I'll say I will stand out with those who believe that the audit raised concern, and that's what the unqualified means. That hey, we want you to make these corrections. We want you to make these corrections and get back to us. And another thing that really stands out to me is that the situation with this audit, NASCOP, it tells us what happened during the we administration. I'm not trying to indict anybody, but corruption was uncontrollable. Over $90 million used by the CDC under shady conditions, unaccounted for. Yeah, that's my own reading into that. That the GSC was saying that hey, as an agency, you need to provide this explanation. That's what unqualified means.
Okay, to you, that what unqualified means. Let's hear from you, Edwin.
Well, I actually went through the audit report today, and I can say to you that audit report is damning.
It's damning.
It's damning in a sense that, in fact, aside from just the money that they talked about unaccounted for, there were investments that NASCOP made that actually became a loss to the company. In fact, there was one instance where they said they transferred $270,000 to some group for a land, and they knew that the land was in legal dispute, that they were never going to recover that money. And there were other areas where they were even, giving money for. There is one that called Nimba Robot Corporation. They transferred certain money, some property. They gave them $1 million. Look, we said the same thing the other day, Slubber. The problem in these state-owned enterprises is that they're not being ran by experts. They are being ran by politicians who feels that monies that come in there, they use it the way they feel like. Because NASCOP is taking money from people who are working, that's Social Security Fund, so that when they retire, they can get benefits. If you open the line today and ask our people who have worked and retire, how did they get that benefit? What are they even getting it? It would be sad. And this is why you see this issue of corruption is skyrocketing in our country, because people working in public places, they are not sure of a decent retirement. So this guy he or she wants to do everything possible so that when they leave the job, they do not turn to a beggar. Because the National Social Security Corporation are supposed to be there to make sure to save this pension fund. They're taking the money and doing all kinds of things with it. Building properties here, doing this here, people flying out, they're doing XYZ or so. So some attention needs to be placed on this particular entity. I think this audit report is an eye-opener. the legislature need to call NASCO to a public hearing, look into all of the investment that they have made, the return, and let them give a clear cut bank balances as to what is happening with monies that have been put in there based on people contribution from their various workplaces or so. But this is actually damning. I've gone through that report from page to page, and you see all of their various respond, and then you will see the auditors will come and say, no, this cannot be kind of. But again, this lies on the lap of the board of directors. Who are the people do we have on the board of directors? Decisions that are being made by the corporation, is it being sanctioned by the board of directors? This is what happens if you have weak boards. And we need to make sure that we actually survey these things so that people do not use the other people's money the way they feel like. But that report is completely damning. I've gone through it more than 2-3 times. It is bad.
Okay, George Kennedy, let's hear your version.
Well, I'm just surprised. In fact, the statement released by the office of the Grand Crook County Development Officer, the man who took the position in 2018, and he stayed there. He was there. All these acts went on. So he talked about the company SSI building four schools in Grand Crook. In fact, he said the construction is on the way. Since 2018 coming to this time, construction is on the way. So I think, as my brother just said, I think, look, the Public Accounts Committee of the legislature, the both houses, need to take control of this audit report to invite the parties involved. Like here, because the thing is, some of us, not because of the current management at NASCO, but we have problem with our pension,
of course,
system.
That's been the normal.
It's been very poor. I mean, Mr. Fabomos have been doing extremely well. He's transformed that place, make the place look like,
glamorous.
Yeah, glamorous and very beautiful. But the fact is, we need to reform our pension system. Let people really benefit. Let people have access to their pension funds immediately after they reach.
But let me ask. But wasn't it part of the Moses, and maybe you could answer also? Wasn't it part of the pension money, the pensioners' money that the 500,000 was deducted during the early days of this administration to do some work?
Of course.
So all money that goes to NASCO, the pension money.
There were allegations about that, right? NASCO is a very good question. NASCO, it's a very good question. It's fair. It's fair.
Moses, I'm coming.
It is fair. It is alleged that NASCO gave 500,000. NASCO has properties that they rent, the lease, or even the LRA building.
They do investment,
is owned by NASCO. So LRA pays for NASCO. Okay, so they do business, they raise money in the so it's not only the pension fund that they were holding funds.
But that 500,000 came from NASCO, right?
Yeah?
The 400,000 came from NASCO, right?
Well, that's why we heard.
What from the pensioners? What about part of the pensioners?
NASCO, that's why we heard that NASCO gave 500,000. I didn't see any other facts relative to documentation from that.
That was speculation, you think?
Because we didn't see other reports, we have not seen any other reports. I have not seen it.
Okay.
But we heard it. The sources that we heard from have reasons to believe some of them, and some of them we have reasons to doubt them.
So with what happened during the early days of this administration.
Yeah.
I'm coming, Moses. I'm coming, Moses. Okay, Moses, coming before I ask my question.
No. So we are big. I just want to say something quickly before I leave, guys.
Yeah, you want to.
Yeah. I like the defense that my brother Kennedy is making. He said, "Oh, it's an allegation. It's an allegation."
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mr. Kennedy, you are right. It's an allegation. It has to be proven.
Yes,
and we also need to apply similar to what other reports. Other reports are not indictment.
Sure.
So the 300,000 now that was paid to that other group, this other group, These are all allegations that need to be investigated.
Okay, but this is what I received. This is the information.
Yeah,
I
it's true.
received.
I agree, Mr. Sandy. You're right. That's
No,
just where I was
Yeah.
going. You know, you're
Now,
right.
this is
Yeah.
the information I received. I don't know, the perspective from which from which we are trying to question this GAC audit of NASCOP. This is what I received. Let me read this. An unqualified audit report, also known as a clean audit report, is like a gold star for a company's financial statements. It means the auditor has reviewed the financial records and believes they accurately reflect the company's financial position in compliance with relevant financial reporting frameworks. In simpler terms, an unqualified audit report says the financial statements are accurate, complete, fair, and in line with accounting standards. So that why should individuals and some media institutions, why should they continue to beat on NASCOP if the GSC is saying NASCOP has a clean audit report?
Because they see in the word unqualified mean you're not qualified.
No, but
That's what they believe.
That's why some people look
Believe,
at
okay.
But it doesn't also mean that when the auditor say your financial record is show unqualified, it doesn't mean that there are not challenges in there.
of course.
There can be some challenges.
Yeah, there can be
but
some
they will tell
challenges.
you
But on
all your
overall,
overall
fine,
performance.
you have an
Exactly.
unqualified.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's why I always like to read the auditor's opinion on the particular audit, not the entire audit. I like to go to the auditor's opinion.
They will pinpoint out of the
now.
Okay,
The
yeah.
point is, gentlemen, the point I'm trying to raise.
Yeah.
If what we reading, if it is true that the GSC said the audit report of NASCOP was unqualified and GSC rather released an unqualified report for NASCOP, why should people continue to beat on NASCOP?
No, because the issue is that, like you already said, when you read in the audit report, you will see where they have the auditors,
Opinion. Yeah.
opinion, and then you see management respond.
Yeah.
In the auditor's opinion, they will pinpoint all of the errors and missteps that you have done.
Mhm.
So based on that, now you can capture all of what has not been, put forth when the audit was, ongoing. But that in itself does not cast a dark cloud on the entire audit report itself.
Mhm.
So there are issues, all right? So even if they say, well, NASCOP, yeah, we saw everything or so, but yet still, there are still discrepancies.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because the document is perfect.
You have that clear-
It will not be perfect.
You have that clear of everything. Like I said, what I was talking about, that land issue that was in that NASCOP knew that it was in dispute, and then they say when they paid the money for it, the auditors believed that NASCOP wouldn't have recovered that money. All of those things are discrepancies, because if you are going to lend out money and
You are disputed to go put
Yes.
somebody to go purchase
the
a
very
property
first thing is
ruined.
that you need to have done due diligence to know that particular property had no lien on it or there's nobody making claim to it. But you knew that this land was in court, and then when you pay for it, you pay $270,000 for it. So it shows that anyway,
Those are some of the minor highlights. I'm
You know why it does? You know why it does?
Mr. Famula.
You know why it does?
Mr. Famula, those are some of the minor highlights in the report.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that why can't we run with the overview of the auditor's opinion that says the audit report of NASCOP is unqualified? It means that it's clear.
It means when they saw all of the document, but it still doesn't clear them out of discrepancies. That's all. And you see
Then I differ with you there. If it didn't clear them of any discrepancy, then they should have never given them an unqualified status of the report.
So the truth is, I would think that good number of the people who run in with a story do not know how to read audit reports.
Okay.
That's my. And when we were running the Liberia Economic Journalists Association,
Mhm.
it was one of the main areas that we were trained at,
Okay.
to know how to read and interpret
all the reports,
all the reports,
or financial reports,
or financial reports. So it's very, very crucial. Some people will just see certain things, they just decide the wrong way. Sometimes you will see the general audit reports. You will see the auditors will highlight all the discrepancies or other things, but when you see the management's response and other things there, you see that when they try to compare what they wrote and what the management response is, what the document saying, they start narrowing down to the facts.
Of course.
To the facts, to their conclusion.
So then what does it say about our country, gentlemen? If people who are supposed to educate, people who are supposed to inform the public, entertain, and they are misleading the public or misrepresenting what they've read, what does it say about our country? And how does it affect us? Affect the overall image of the country, Edwin?
Well, like we said, Keenly, when you're reading these instruments, you have to be able to understand it from the different perspective, right? So, like I said, I've gone through the report, and I've read all of those different opinions and responses. Now, you understand that yes, there are difficulties, yes, there are challenges, yes, there are discrepancies, but on the overall, systematically based on their reporting, the auditors were able to see every document that they requested for. Now, most of the audit that we see around here basically are just system audit. So you see that, oh yeah, we went to this place, we didn't see this, we didn't see this, we didn't do that. It actually don't translate into somebody taking money and walking away with it, because there are a lot of processes for you to take money out of the system. But yeah, maybe there was some procurement issues that did not go through the proper process. Maybe even for recruitment process, because the law says you should do it this way and you didn't do it that way. It necessarily does not mean that somebody took money and walked out. But when you look at the overall, aspect of all of those actions on the institutions itself, it shows that yes, there are challenges here. And that's why in the auditor's opinion, they will always say, you can, if you come back, if the management come back and say, we note this, and then we'll work on it, the auditor's opinion will come back and say, we'll follow up in subsequent audit, so that you'll be able to fill in those gaps. If you don't do it and then they highlight it, then it means now that this is something that you're doing perpetually to benefit from it. That's why you don't want to fix it. But yes, NASCOP, what I saw today, there are discrepancies in there that needs the attention of the Public Accounts Committee.
But on the overall, the GSC said they have unqualified.
It still doesn't take them off the hook.
But what really surprised me, I don't know why this development officer from Grand Crew had to issue this statement yesterday, Sunday, on the 26th, to say that the project's ongoing. I thought this was very unnecessary. This statement creates doubts.
Because first of all, look, with just what you read there, Slobo, with just what you read about all of these disbursement of money to people for this and that or so, and then there's no tangible evidence of these work done that we can see. It shows discrepancies right there. Giving this one for this other person project. The NASCOP fund was not created for that. Even what our brother Kennedy said, these properties that NASCOP owned, those properties were acquired from pensions money that was given to them to keep. So because they have the pool fund, they can take it and invest it, so that the money doesn't sit in the bank. So you see Jamali, you see the LRA building, their headquarters, and other properties around. So all of these things have to be clearly spelled out. The government needs to know exactly what are the returns that NASCOP is getting from these properties and where that money is going. Because like I said, people work their entire life. When they reach 60 or 65, they retire. They need to have some kind of a decent pension to live that life. You can work for that length of your life. When you retire, somebody giving you 2,000 LD, 5,000 LD, 10,000 LD. When you are paying 200 US dollars from your employer. Come on, man. These things have to be reversed. If you want for people to diligently work so that the man would not say, look, because I'm on a job today, I have to do everything possible to build a house, to establish a business. If the man knows that when he leaves the job, he's going to have a good retirement for the rest of his life, there will be no need for that man to steal.
Okay, so let's close up on that. Gentlemen, let's look at this topic. I think on Saturday, yes, if I'm not mistaken, either Saturday or Sunday, the former Minister of State in the CDC administration, Wissa Blamo, launched a political party that he calls the Liberia Alternative People Party. This is the second time we've heard about another giant within the CDC, establishing his political party as well. The first was Sir Joseph. What is happening in the CDC? Edwin, let me hear from you.
Well, the other day when I came here, I said it that one sad thing in Liberia is that many of the people in these political parties are not there because of their conviction that the political party has the solution to solve Liberia's problem. They are there because of somebody's quest, or they are there because of what they can get for themselves. I don't want to believe that Wissa Blamo from the get-go was even a member of the CDC. He probably came on board at a later time, when President Weah became president, or even before then. Now, I think we need to now sit back as a country and ask ourselves, how do we establish political institutions that live even after the funders? Because all of these people just running solo. Like I said the last time, what we are now doing, we don't have political parties any longer. We have social clubs and interest group, because these people come together when somebody among them has interest to become president. CMC funded because of Musa Ability. If Musa Ability leaves CMC today, there's no CMC. The Wissa Blamo party is funded because Wissa Blamo wants to have a stake in 2029. If Wissa Blamo is not there today, there is no Wissa Blamo party. The Sir Joseph party, because he also wants to be a kingsmaker come 2029. And we need to stop this, because what are we doing to ourselves is that we're crowding the political field. It makes it difficult for people to make decisions. You have a country where you have a vast literate people. If you take a ballot to them that have 50 candidates on it for election, for God's sake, how do you expect them to make decisions? That's how Apiton got more vote than even Elizabeth Cummins. Because these people don't read. Bulk of the people in the interior, they don't read and write. We keep confusing our people. I want to say that there is a crack in the CDC because these people, first of all, they're not seditionists. Because the real seditionists are the convicted one. I don't care what you do, they will remain with CDC, they will not go. The people who are living are people who just came on board to benefit from the CDC.
Okay, let's read it. Yes, Josh, what's your version? You think
Mr. Wissa Blamo, or Reverend Wissa Blamo?
But before you come in, let me just read an excerpt of his speech that he delivered. He said the Liberia Alternative People's Party is the genuine alternative for the Liberian people, and a people-centered movement funded on the principles of honesty, integrity, inclusive growth, and justice. We have emerged from the convention stronger, more focused, and ready to lead. Let me emphasize that the time for politics as usual is over. The people of Liberia are calling for change, a change that is built on honesty and trust. They are asking for economic dignity. Our people want the wealth of the nation to be managed well. They deserve to live with dignity. Okay, that was what Blamo was speaking. Well, we'll come into that aspect of the speech. But first, your opening, a comment on whether there's any crack within the. Do you see any crack within the CDC,
No.
especially with the emergence of?
No. Reverend Wisa Blamo, to my recollection, came from the Liberal Action Party.
Okay.
And after the merger with Unity Party, he was a partisan of the Unity Party. He became chairman of the UP Legislative Caucus when he was in the House. And later metamorphosed in the CDC when President Weah won the election in 2017. He managed his way through, became the Minister of State. He knows me very well. We know one another. So technically, I'm his son because he can call me my son when you see me. But the way he governed well over the past 6 years, and as a lawmaker and as Minister of State, well, I think what he's doing is that it has no traction.
No traction at all. What would you say that?
Nothing. Go have election, you will see they cheated him. Because people won't go there. Look, former President Weah
This is a man. I'm coming. Let me try to counter your bid. This is a man who's saying that he's bringing change. The people want change. The people want their lives to be improved. The people want to live in dignity. And he promising that. He said politics as usual, it's normal. He's going to make a difference on the political scene. Then you saying
what
that
difference did he make in the positions that he held? Senior positions that he held. Chairman, Unity Party Legislative Caucus. Grand Crew County Representative Wisa Blamo. I'm telling you his county. Former legislative reporter George Kennedy is saying that the Honorable Mayor or the Honorable Minister, former Minister of State, cannot play on the minds of the Liberian people. It's a waste of time. And he cannot even take, I don't even think he can take one vote from former President Weah, because you know what? Former President Weah, you want to beat him, you got to get his 30%. Once you want to beat former President Weah, your party can reach 30% of the population and go above, you can beat him.
now. So
Wisa Blamo, why don't you even get 1%?
do we see this? Do we see this, gentlemen, as
Yeah.
a strategy by the CDC trying to create splinter groups? So at the end of the day, they all regather. Do you see that way?
I don't think so. I think what is happening is that, like Brother Kennedy rightly said, these guys has lost relevance within the CDC itself. So they're not trying.
You're talking about those who are now establishing political parties.
Those who are now establishing,
like this Joseph
yes.
and now Wisa Blamo.
There's lost relevance within the CDC, with the base of CDC.
Okay.
And they can no longer stay there. So definitely now they have to start going, displaying their way. But like he rightly said, this man was a lawmaker. I've been to Grand Crew, all right? If you see the living condition of people in Grand Crew, Wisa Blamo wouldn't even be talking. He didn't want to be, senator for them or so, before even talking about he wants to be president, The second thing is that, like we keep saying, you were Minister of State. You were close to the president. The president is from Grand Crew. You want to tell me that you never had any kind of influence on the president to put anything tangible in Grand Crew? I went to Grand Crew. We have project makeshift housing facility. I saw some of those things, built 10 year, 5 years or so, abandoned in Grand Crew.
Okay.
They don't even live in them. And this is the man that coming to us and saying, oh, he wants to form a political party because he wants to transform. That's why I say we need to sit and start to analyze, to look at the laws and try to change some of the laws on how people create political parties in our country. Because it's going to reach to a point where it's going to be like a mockery. Everybody out
I
there
think I'll need to start establishing my own.
and
ahead of 2029.
And guess who brought that up to me one time? My own friend, this guy, George Calono. He said he wants to create a political party. I just try to say, George, you stop this play, man. Don't see this. You guys see this country as a play.
Yeah.
My brother, my family was involved with the struggle for multi-party democracy. This is not what they fought for. That everybody here can just jump out tomorrow and say, "Oh, I want to form a political party." Are we serious? We need to get. This is the 21st century.
We need to look at the laws affecting political
But you heard, do you agree with George? He said it's not going to gain any traction.
It's not going to get no, but it is not to gain traction. All of the political
the man
parties,
wants to be popular. So
I'm coming now.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Why you
All of
saying
the political parties that
Sir Joseph too
consented-
is establishing his. That was
Sir Joseph has a little bit of influence. Sir Joseph.
unless we say Blambo.
Oh yeah.
but
Sir Joseph,
Slobo.
because he's impacted the
Slobo.
lives of some people that.
Well, we said Blambo did as well.
Where which one?
slow up. All of the political parties that contested the election in 2020.
Yeah.
Is it 3, right?
Mhm.
Where are some of them today? What they did, right? At the end of the first round, they all came around the table, followed the team that they know will win.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, they started looking for jobs. That's all.
Yeah.
The guy who came third or fourth, Appiton.
Mhm.
Where is he today? He's
In Japan, right?
He's ambassador to Japan.
Japan. The man.
The foreign minister had her own
Party.
political party. The other person, ACOP, the other one, everybody looking for position in the government. At the end of the day, what you're going to do, the people who are qualified and competent
Mhm.
would not be able to serve their country because political parties are breaking their interests and putting people into positions. All right? You listen to Costa. He said it was Delon and the other person that brought the other person. When you look at even some of the appointment, I tell you, President Baga don't even know some of the people that he appointed into government because they were people that name was same from political party. Once you are in that collaboration or coalition, you have to be able to please everybody because tomorrow when you come back, you want them to come and support you.
I mean,
If you heard him, the
Mhm.
president said, if a political party nominated you and you blunder and
What
fire
will
you,
Yeah, don't come back to me.
that party will not come back to go nominate. If you hearing him say
he
that.
said that.
Yeah.
And the law we're talking about on this political party is we really want this less than or 1%. That
Yeah.
is say if 1% your party got 1% in the election,
You don't
you
contest.
will not contest. That party will not contest. It should be on the candidate as well.
Of course.
The candidate, you cannot go. You run on ANC party, for example, you got 1% because you lose. The party ANC will not run again, and then you go to another party. It was not the political party that was running.
It was an
It
individual.
was the individual that was running. So the law should affect the individual.
Okay.
The people don't want you.
Okay. All right.
And you see, that's what this guy is not doing in Guinea.
Mhm.
In as much as we may see it other way around, but he just had an announcement that if you are going to contest, the fee shouldn't be anything less than $100,000. So if you have $100,000 US to pay for an election,
Yeah.
that you're not even going to come number 15.
You're not go register.
Why do you want to go put money there? People see it in a way that this guy is trying to hold him to power, but it makes a lot of sense. Because if you don't do it, you have proliferation of political parties and individuals just running all over the place.
All right, gentlemen. Let's end on that. And go to our last discussion. Let me try to get a tip. Producer, the tip on Simeon Fremont. Fremont made some statements when he addressed some citizens. Let's try to listen to that tape and hear Fremont, Simeon Fremont speaking quickly. Let's try to listen to it.
But in our budget, we gave him water and sewer $6.6 million US. The office right here on Front Street, Slipway right here, you can see water. To get water, if we hadn't faced that pump, you gotta be crossing the street, car knocking your children down just for water. But you're not seeing water because the man at the water and sewer, he won't get a sea color like me. He gotta take half of that money to buy cream for a color to be bright. Then he take the rest of the money and carry it to Boyka in the Erie. They boycotted the money now. He go to 4 years, he paid 10 million resident. And you, the people, can't see nothing. You see what caused the trouble? When y'all keep taking poor men and making poor men president, that man was not even working out. The man was sleeping. You take the whole country, you take $890 million, you give it to the man. When that man will buy blood, when he will buy kidney, when he will buy new house, when he will take care of a poor friend there, before you take care of him. Huh? That's it. If I tell you now, and then you president, you forget about yourself? You forget about your family? You forget about your children? But when you tell...
Okay, gentlemen, you listen to Simeon Freeman. What's your takeaway, Edwin?
Well, the very first thing I would say is Simeon is a juvenile politician, and it's sad that someone who has occupied our political land space for this length of time will go into a public gathering, instead of him talking substantive issues, try to throw jibes and, you know, say things that he has no clue about. Simeon Freeman, for the past time that I've come to follow this guy, all he does, he go and sit on Google, Google other countries and see what they're doing and think that he can come and intellectualize it in Liberia. Look, let's be realistic here. Let's be candid here. Even the businesses that Simeon Freeman runs in Liberia, what is the impact on our economy? The people he went to talk to in a slipway, how many of them there can afford DSTV? Let's be realistic. Do you know that Liberia is among the countries that pay the highest amount for DSTV? Today, there are Liberians that are subscribing from Nigeria on DSTV. And this guy has made millions of dollars out of Liberia. All he does, he go and sit and start boasting how he wins $600,000 watch. Who gave a F about that? Sorry for my language. But it is insulting to us that you are using this country, making money out of it, and you still openly say to us that you are a multi-millionaire. What effect have you had? How many schools have Simeon Freeman built? The slipway that he went to talking about water, has he built a single hand pump there? If you have these institutions that are making money from the people, there's something called corporate social responsibility. Let's Freeman show me one place, one public school that he has put DSTV there for free for the people to watch. You don't come here and be going around trying to throw jobs and saying somebody would take money to go buy cream and do XYZ, and the president got to buy kidney and all kind of stuff. That shouldn't be coming from a serious-minded politician. Politicians talk substantive issues. They come with vision. They don't come to throw jibes.
Okay. Kennedy, what's your takeaway?
I don't want to give Ahmed irrelevant because he has contested in several elections. He can't even go 1%. So, what kind of person I'm going to waste my time? The man is he's a Liberian.
You think he sounded condescending?
Sure. And I asked the Minister of Information not to
respond.
Not to even,
don't give him any relevant.
He's looking for relevance.
He's looking for relevance,
you know,
at the expense of. He wants it at the expense of the government. Nobody leave him. In fact, I wanted him to go speak to more schools. More schools. Let him go serve as keynote speaker or whatever, guest speaker.
And
he's a fellow.
Slubber, another very important issue. Do you know that most of the young kids around here, they are into this football thing. They like watching the football games or so. So there was a company that came to Liberia by the name of SATCOM that was beating his price down, for the football thing, because that's what most young guys, at that time, get involved with. So he took the to court, all because they were charging a minimum amount so that other people can have access to that service. He took the to court. This is somebody who wants to come and tell us about leadership, that he loved the Liberian people.
I don't subscribe to STV in Liberia.
That's hypocrisy.
I subscribe directly from Nigeria.
That's
hypocrisy. I don't waste my time. I subscribe premium. The amount I pay Yeah, Simeon from almost triple.
Of course, we are among the countries that pay the highest.
Around $90 or more.
We are among the countries that pay the highest for DSTV subscriptions.
So why am I wasting my time on
And this man been running DSTV for almost 18, 19 years.
He doesn't even pay his staff regularly. That time I made that.
You know, and then
how do you know the man doesn't pay
of
his staff?
course, these things come out. Did I hear it? Those things are there.
Okay,
You know?
okay, gentlemen, you guys been lashing at Simeon Film. Let's try to take the course quickly. 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507, or better still, 0778460793. Again, 0778460793, or this alternative line 08776-540-987. Let's take this caller quickly. 0776-540-987. Let's take this caller quickly. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Sabo, and good evening to your guest.
Yes, sir.
Panelists. So, money is 5 years to play. I joined the national conversation tonight on Claverton District 14 to an event in Intelligence Center.
Okay.
You know, it's quite laughable. You know, people who want to become leader in the country, so when they come to discuss something that look at substantially, to differentiate between they and current politicians, and they go and instead of that, it is quite frustrating. It is frustrating because he used a national platform, probably he used a national platform, and people wasted their time to go and look at him to say something. Sooner we'll be able to say another thing. Okay, without admitting that, yeah, indeed, somebody is changing Kenny. So is it only person, the president, who is seeing the Kenny? So if that is the case, how does it solve our problem? And how does it put in a position where he will change the position of the country as he thinks that he wants to become president? It's comfortable. So people should be using situation of people to go and just waste people's time. I'm quite frustrated that he wasted the people's time free. But
Okay.
you know, you can say anything you want to say as a politician, but when you are giving a chance where people waste their time and go and listen to you, say something successful that you need, that you want to change it, that is why you want to do or what you have done. So in the first place, you have nothing done yet in the government in terms of investment that will change the condition of other, even for people here, he can do something. So he's just very good at just you know, bashing people or
Okay.
something that just
Okay. All right. You made your point. Thank you very much. You made your point. Let's try to take another call on the line quickly. Good evening. Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Thank you, Saba. This is Pascal Davis on this district. So let me say thanks to your panelists. Look, Saba, these different actors here, they ask them what is their mission. And we're very clear. The Liberian people, Saba, you're going back to ERBC to do the job of the Liberian people. As soon as it 2029, after the elections, you're going back. Georgia will appoint you this time as director of LBS. The country must be on the path to recover. When you were at LBS, you hosted Mr. Parker. You hosted opposition leader. You did that. When you were there, we follow you. This is the president we're talking about. You can have 100 million political parties. The brave people have resolved to bring Georgia back to the executive function. There is no internet about that. This government, yes, under Mr. Parker, has shown to us that, of course, they've got no plan to lead the country. Look, what more can you do? Have you read the report from the GSC of recent? Have you read that report? We can put anything here. We can put a speed. You can say what you want to say. Look, Sir Joseph's career politically has ended. There is no question about it. Some of our career politically has ended. There is no argument. A career political career has ended. There's no argument. It's clear.
Man, you don't have to put voter card. You don't have our voter card. You don't have anybody's voter card.
Thank you so much.
All right.
You got yours.
Many thanks.
You would've got yours.
070886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. Or better still, 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Or this alternative line, 0776 540-987. Again, 0776-540-987 is an alternative line. Or you can call the Lone Star 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. Or better still, 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. That's the numbers to call, and you are live on the program tonight, on the nighttime heat tonight. Again, hoping that you're sharing the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can follow. 0886-050507 or 0778-460-793. We've been talking about a couple of topics. We've been treating a couple of topics. What does the GSC audit say about NASCOP? We talk about that. Is there a crack in the CDC with the establishment of a new political party by former President Weah's office chief of staff, that is the Minister of State? We said, Blambo, do you see a crack in the CDC? Or again, because you heard about Joseph Wright, he left the CDC and he established his own political party, another political party being established by Blambo Wiese. We'll also talk about what the call by Henry Costa for the Minister of Justice and orders to be dismissed. What his calls are justified. We've been talking about those issues. And then Seema Freeman, throwing jabs at the managing director of the Labrador Water and Sewer Corporation. We'll talk about that as well. 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. Or better still, 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Or this alternative line, 0776-540-987. Again, 0776-540-987. But you listen to the callers. Let me hear from you, Edwin.
Yes, Robert. To your last caller, let me just let him know that what you do here or what we come here to do is not because we want to actually preach any party politics or to glorify any political party. What we do here is that we come and try to give our utmost best as Liberians. You, Robert George, you are competent, you are qualified, you can get any job in this republic. You don't have to wait for 2029 for somebody to be president before you can be somebody.
Okay, let me take this call up quickly. Good evening. Yes, good evening. Okay.
I listen to your discussing that we not get institution in the country. When it comes to the political landscape, only one institution to approve the Unity Party. Because Unity Party are better there with two different stand-up and became successful. I think the party, they get any other political party in the country. Manasari, we are president. Now we are president, back our president. I think the Unity Party, no other party. But the Liberian people are resolved. The Liberian people got a lot of spokes over there. And somebody will say around. The president, the kind of what the president doing, somehow I will soon be petitioning the people to see our best to bring our president back. Because not nobody in the country has power to hear about that. Tell you thing, Mr. George.
Okay.
What kind of what the woman doing? If you see the woman for them, put the women that will damage it. So somehow we are all along here, women campaign for place to place. Thank you very much.
Many thanks. 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. Or better still, 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Or the alternative line, 0776-540-987. 0776-540-987. That's Edwin, you're in speech.
Yes, as I was saying to your caller, that we do not do this because we want job in 2029 or we're looking for a job now. We do it because of the passion that you have for this field. And we thought that if these things comes out, we should come up and discuss it. We're not waiting for anybody to be president.
Okay, quickly, let's take this caller. Good evening. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you. Okay, let's hear from you, Mr. Willie.
Yeah,
enjoyed so much of the discussion tonight. We have been following all the issues that have been raised from NASCO, that of the jobs that the president is doing, all of that. But with NASCO, the only federal indictment, the auditee can go after it, they can make their own positions, and the auditor will go back to pull the same checkpoint. So they can say the checkpoint, if it's not an indictment, they can go through that. But with the work of the president, we think he's doing his best. We all just have to rally around him to make sure that the right thing is done. My only disappointment is the removal of Wimofi. He had been doing his best, but with the shock in the head that he's removed the decision of the president, we pray that maternity will do his best, because Wimofi is one of the best so far in this government. That would love me as well. So that's just my info for the discussion tonight. Thank you.
Okay, many thanks. Many thanks. Again, you can call 086 050507. That's the Lone Star number, 0886 050507, or better still 0778 460 793. Again, 0778 460 793. Every time you speak, and then the calls come.
Yes. So I was just speaking to your caller that we're not doing this because we're looking for a job. We're doing this because we love our country and we have a passion to make sure that things work better for this country. I've seen you, condemn the CDC. I've seen you support the CDC. I've seen you condemn the UP. I've seen you support the UP. So when we come on these radios, we try to educate our people as to the happenings, not necessarily that you're doing it because you want a job.
Yeah, sure. Okay, 0778 460 793. That's the number to call, or better still 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. That's the number to call, or better still 0886 0778 460 793. You can call those numbers and you are live on the nighttime heat. By 10:15, we should be out of here. 0886 050507. Again, 0886 050507. Better still 0778 460 793. You call those numbers, you are live right here on the program, the nighttime heat. Now, gentlemen, I know, let me try to get your parting comment on those issues that we've been talking about, the issue with the GSE audit report, the issue with CDC, whether there's a crack, the issue with Costa call for the Minister of Justice and orders to be dismissed. Whether his calls been justified, especially when he doesn't know the intricacies and how the justice system work. Let us hear from you, your party comment on this.
So on the first issue with NASCO, nobody said here that NASCO has been indicted. We said it over and again. The GSE is not an institution that indict people. They come, they do their audit based on international standards, and they do their findings and submit it to the legislature. The legislature do a public hearing, and then those reports are submitted to the LACC for further investigation and indictment if found culpable. So nobody have said that GSE indicted NASCOP. On the issue of whether there's a crack in the CDC, and we keep saying no, there's no crack. All of the people that you see leaving the CDC were either people who came to the CDC for certain benefits, that include the former Minister of State. With the issue of Senator Sir Joseph, he came into the CDC, he gained his way through, was able to get elected a couple of times, and now he has realized that it's time to part company. And like Brother George says, Sir Joseph has a constituents, whether we elected or not, because he actually made his name during the most difficult time of our country. People still refer to him as Ebola hero. And then outside of that, Sir Joseph still remained a people-centered person. He's not a big shot that puts his shoulder up. As we speak right now, he's doing a project in Bensenville. He's doing some kind of electrification project in Bensenville, funded by him. So for him, yes, he may have, his own little constituents on the issue of Costa, and so he just posted on his page Hayaka. That's why he wrote after the the news came out of these government officials that have been taking up that job,
trying to take
yes.
credit.
Yeah.
So now he's actually trying to take credit that I've spoken, the president is listening, and the president has taken decision. But what he doesn't understand, some of the people that he praised yesterday, that gave him his mining license and blah blah blah, the president is no longer in that job again. So in itself, I think it was a very good evening for us to be able to discuss some of these things. It's good for our country. I remember one time we should have discussed something on the misuse of the social media. I think we should be discussing that topic anytime soon, because it's actually getting very serious. Outside of Liberia, our mothers, our sisters on the internet, it's getting very bad. Every day you wake up.
Yes,
all of these
we'll talk about
profanities
that.
and stuff.
We'll talk about that maybe on Wednesday or Friday. But before I come
So
to
thank
you, George, for your parting comment, Shan Labira is reporting that a breaking news that the President Boaga has reportedly formed a committee to investigate the incident involving the Chinese individual and MPA Managing Director Sekou Dukle. The committee has submitted its findings to the president, and as we speak, the Dukle is ongoing investigation by the president and several committee members. Any indications suggest that Sekou may face dismissals in the coming days. But I also read today that the police has taken siege of the matter, and he's currently on an investigation. I tried to contact the police. Unfortunately, I spoke with the chairman in command. He couldn't confirm, neither deny, but he promised to speak with me later, but I didn't hear from me anymore. Let's get your party. What I say, that's the latest. I don't know whether you heard that also.
Yes, and I've been following this issue. At a point in time, the president has to take seize of this matter, because it has to do with a partner that Liberia depends on. Whether we elected or not, the Chinese are doing a lot in our country. They're filling most of the developmental gap. So if a national of them come to your country to do an investment as a partner, there's a way you treat them. I've seen that thing where the police involved. There's this whole thing about some business deal between he and this Chinese guy. And as a businessman and also as a government official, he should have made sure that he treats this thing with some kind of, respect for his partner, and do not allow it to escalate the way it's getting. I'm sure the Chinese embassies here has getting involved. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has getting involved. So probably it has getting to the president's decks. So he probably constituted a committee to investigate.
Okay, we'll look at that on.
It's about
Wednesday.
optics.
We'll look at that on bad optics. Let me say. Okay, Kennedy.
Well, I just want to say thanks to everyone. In my opinion, we dealt with the discussions topics very well. Someone who may try to take credit for the president's action, well, thank you. But the president is the president. We know him. We knew him before you, and we know how he takes his action. So another thing is, we think that we shouldn't give attention to someone who would take his time to go to meet young students in classroom, try to wrongfully market themselves. And the students, I say, we hear the noise, the jeering almost like behind. So we shouldn't, as a government, the Ministry of Information should not go bombastic to respond to such person. Just leave them, let them go ahead. So for me, it's good. It's okay. I think we did justice to all the topics.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, George, and thank you, Edwin. We'll meet it again by God's grace on Wednesday for another fascinating edition of the program, the Nighttime Heat. But before then, let's try to recognize some of our viewers. Not all. Vinicius Junior Bar from New Creetown, you've been watching. Ibrahim Swine from Chiki Sufatri, he said you've been watching. Honorable George S. Watkins Jr. He said he been watching from District 13. Ben Cooper Jr. Didn't say from where. Gloria Boy passed away from the USA. She's been watching. Victor Morba from Freeport. Amos Y. Didn't say from where. Ophelia S. George from home. She's been watching. Dexter Elabi from Dakar, Senegal. Rachel and Flomo from Buchanan City, Grand Bassa County. Moses Mobolu, he said, been watching from Lower Rapid, something, USA, okay. And Gerald Cummings, very good for the fire. Cummings been also watching, I'm sure, from the US. Well, until then, Sabo George is my name. Have a pleasant time.